Well, the Justice Department reportedly is launching a grand jury probe of New York Attorney General Letitia James over her civil fraud case against President Trump. The Attorney General's team, as you might expect, is firing back.
If you can have the presidency go against the people who use the courts of law to find him wrong when he was wrong, then they have taken this idea of retribution to places that, as I pointed out before, the authors like George Orwell would have never dreamed in their worst nightmares.
Let's bring in Ronald Chapman, the second federal defense attorney and Supreme Court expert. So what do you think about Abbe Lowell, who is representing Letitia James, the Attorney General? What do you think about him calling this retribution on the part of the federal government?
You know, what looks Orwellian to me is landing a $454 million judgment despite no fraud being found, and then racking up $100,000 a day in interest while we wait for the New York appellate court to make a decision. I think that the only thing they can do right now is to claim retribution, but the reality is you have a prosecutor who ran on the idea that Donald Trump was going to be targeted. She fulfilled her promise by targeting him. And when we get to look at this communication and you look at the campaign emails, you'll see that there's plenty of evidence that Donald Trump was specifically targeted because of his political views. That's why this investigation also includes the NRA and potential other political prosecutions that occurred out of that office.
Yeah, she made no secret of it. I mean, she was quite open about the fact that she was running for Attorney General because she wanted to get Donald Trump. Listen.
I will never be afraid to challenge this illegitimate president when our fundamental rights are at stake. I believe that the president of these United States can be indicted for criminal offenses.
We're going to definitely assume we're going to be a real pain in the He's going to know my name personally.
No one is above the law, including this illegitimate president. I look forward to going into the office of Attorney General every day, suing him, defending your rights, and then going home.
And it isn't just Donald Trump that she sued. She sued the New York City Police Department, right?
She's gone after everybody she can on her political hit list in order to fulfill that promise that she made. Listen, in this country, it is absolutely insane to see a prosecutor stand up and declare that somebody is an illegitimate president despite the will of the people. It is insane to see somebody stand up and specifically target someone before they have achieved that office and engaged in a full investigation. That is the most Orwellian thing I have ever seen. This is finding the person and fitting the crime. That's exactly what happened in New York. And certainly Pam Bondi is going to get to the bottom of it. The subpoenas are the first step. The information will likely be sealed, but as witnesses start to testify or proffer, we'll probably start getting some information about what truly was going on inside of that office. I think we can expect a lot of privilege fights to occur and some federalism issues. So there will be a few interesting legal battles coming out of this as well.
I mentioned that Abbe Lowell is the attorney she's hired. Now, he's well known for taking on high-profile clients who are in big trouble, people like Hunter Biden, for instance, although he also represented Ivanka Trump and her husband, Jared Kushner. But here's what Abbe Lowell has to say about this case.
You know, if you have a file on your house, bunches of pieces of paper, and one of those pieces of paper say that it was a residence when it was an investment property or vice versa, but every other piece of paper in the same file makes that clear, so that you have one that might have had a box checked wrong, that's not the subject of a criminal investigation or case.
Because she's accused of falsifying mortgage documents in order to get a more favorable interest rate. Now, Abbe Lowell says it's just a slip of the pen. How do you see it?
I remember watching a trial go down in New York where an American president was forced to sit there while box checking was the entire issue that was being litigated in that courtroom. And to hear Abbe Lowell get up in front of the American people and say, this is just a box checking issue in response to a fraud probe, it's incredibly inconsistent. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. The reality here is that there was a misrepresentation made related to her residence and her property. That's something that I'm sure a jury will get down to the bottom of. But the true story here, the real story, is the investigation that's about to go down into the communication in that office. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more communication than just these campaign emails and just what we've already heard from the Attorney General here that indicates that she was specifically targeting Donald Trump and other people. I think that this case isn't going to be too hard to make. It is a violation of the law to engage in a conspiracy to deprive somebody of their civil rights. And I'm sure that if that type of case gets to a jury, hopefully the right jury, there will be a pretty quick decision to see that civil rights were violated here.
You have an interesting quote that I wanted to share with our viewers as we sign off. You write, "The Attorney General's office is supposed to be a shield for the public, not a sword for the party." Ronald Chapman II, thanks very much.
Thank you.